in life, we all have tasks that aren't the most exciting to take on. Maybe cleaning out a closet, weeding the garden, those kinds of things. But we do them because they are necessary. The same should be said for all things involving our money. So here to help us take stock in our current financial situation, Mr. Cory Sickles, president of Safe Harbor Retirement. Hi, Cory.
Hi, Robin.
All right, this seems like an obvious thing to do, right? You talk about something involving your money, it's important to know what's going on. But why don't more people take time to do this?
You know, I think there's probably a couple of things. One is it's anxiety, right? I mean, spending money, saving money, it's kind of complicated. They don't know what to do. And really, you know, my job, you know, being a financial advisor is work with clients and try to create a plan where they can save, but more importantly, create something where they're going to have that worry-free retirement. Because, you know, retirement's changed so much, you know, over the last, 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
I was going to just say that, and that's probably why it's so important to take time, because every year, every 5 years, things change, right?
They do change. And, you know, not only do they change, but, you know, a lot of people just don't, you know, they don't spend a lot of time. And, you know, one thing I was reading just actually today, 65% of the people don't even know what they actually spent last month.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So which means, are you spending above your means? Are you saving enough? And the other thing I think a lot of people have trouble with is I've been saving, I've been doing a good thing, but they don't know what that means. They don't know what the end game is. And what I mean by that is, you know, at some point you got to start taking income, you know, when you're in retirement.
Right.
But what does $200 or $400 or $500,000 or $1 million mean to me when the time does come?
And so what should someone be looking at? Because you mentioned kind of that, what am I spending? Am I spending without my means? But there's probably other things involved in their financial situation, right, than just the checkbook.
Yeah, of course there are, right? So the easiest thing to do is, you know, you have income, right?
Yep.
You have expenses, and hopefully you have a good idea of what you are spending and where all that money's going. And then the third part of that is hopefully you have some overage, and you can save. And then you have questions. How should I save? Where should I save it? And that's kind of where we where we come into play. And, you know, the younger you are, you know, if you're in that 30 to 50 range, you know, you might actually have kids, you're paying for college, you're trying to save, you might have student debt. And people get nervous about all that type of stuff. You know, how do I navigate all that? And that's really what we're here to do.
And that's the thing, because you probably can find for them maybe opportunities to save, which is something that we struggle with, I think, in general as a society, right? Is that most of us are saying, well, all my money's going here, 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 and here. But you can probably take kind of a broader approach and say, okay, let's try to start smaller. If we're saving for this goal, let's go here.
That's exactly right. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone has a different amount of money to spend or save. Yeah. And you want to just make sure that you are saving something, but you also want to be strategic about it. And that's where we can kind of come into play to make sure maybe you're saving it in the right opportunities. You know, are you participating in your 401k? Are you at least getting the match? Do I have life insurance? Especially if you have kids and a family, if something happens to you tomorrow, you know, how much money should I have in life insurance? Those are all questions that a lot of people don't know about. You can try to Google it and things like that, but I still think it's good to bounce that off of somebody that has the experience and you know, that can help you do things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so how often should we be doing this? Are we sitting down every week? Are we maybe a couple of months?
Well, you know, if you're when it comes to like budgeting and things like that, you know, at least once a month. Worst case is maybe quarterly. And, you know, hopefully you can put together, when we start talking a savings plan, if you're working with an advisor, then we're going to meet with you at least once a year to see if you're still on track. Because, you know, things do happen, things do change. You might lose a job, you might get a new job. So you want to be able to make sure you're taking advantage any possible way, because the more you save, the younger you are, the less you have to save, you know, when you're an empty nester, for example.
Right. Okay. So all good points. And I know that you sit down with folks. You have a obviously complimentary meeting. Is this one of the things you can go over with them, Cory?
That's one of the first things we're really going to be able to do is kind of sit down, they are complimentary, but we're going to get an idea of where you are today. And then, of course, we're going to have discussions about what your goals are, where you want to do, when do you want to retire. That's a big one. And, you know, odds are whatever your budget is today, you know, it's going to be at least that when you retire, if not a little bit more because of inflation as well. We can kind of take all that and you know, put together that financial plan for you.
Okay, and you can do that just by going to the website, giving Cory and his team a call. Very simple to do. So thank you, Cory.
Thank you, Robin.